if you guys are like talking and then you like mention me, like if you're like asking me a question directly, if it takes me a second, it's because I'm eating ravioli.
Okay.
I'm like fucking hungry. I like just made this like 10 minutes ago.
I'm gonna add that into the recording, Victor.
Do it.
All right.
All right. Well, now I gotta know what kind of ravioli.
I don't even know. Chicken parm, I think.
Chicken
no
parm
clue.
ravioli.
I don't even
Never
know.
even
I
heard
said-
of that.
I don't even know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the It's Pizza Time podcast. I'm your host, iNDiGO. Today I'm joined by my co-host, Victor.
Hello.
My co-host, John, who's back after like 6 episodes of
finally.
missing. Maybe more. I think like
What's
it's
up, guys?
almost 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, good to have you back. And our very special guest, Storyboard.
What's up, guys? Super glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. You're like you're a gamer. Obviously, we're gonna bring you on.
Yeah, you know me and my gaming.
Yeah, I call everybody gamer. I feel like
I do the same thing.
I feel like that's the best term. Like, it's an overarching term for like everybody, regardless of what they do.
I actually accidentally called some of my coworkers gamers when I was yelling at them. It was very, very weird because I don't do that, in person. It's more of an online thing. Yeah, you don't walk into work and you're like, "What's up, gamers?"
I don't walk into Vons and then be like, "Hey, paper plastic gamer."
Clarify, Vons is a store here.
I
like a
figured as
Ralph's.
much.
It's
Or like
it's
Gelson's
basically
or-
like Safeway, or it's one of those supermarkets.
Hmm.
Like, what? You're East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Fucking, what do you get? They're
Kroger.
different, though, right? Fucking, or no, Wegmans.
Wegmans. I know Wegmans.
So,
yeah.
you guys have Wegmans on your coast. We don't have that here.
Actually, I've only seen one Wegmans in my entire life, and I was in upstate New York in college, and I saw Wegmans for the first time. There's no Wegmans like near me.
Mm.
The closest thing I could equate to it is like Whole Foods, maybe.
There you go. Okay.
Where were you going
Yeah.
to college?
I was going to college in Rochester, New York. I dropped out after like 2.5 semesters. Came home, did like music just full on for 2 years. And then I was like, nothing's really happening. I guess I should just go back to school. And then stuff started happening. So,
It's weird how that happens though.
yeah.
Like when you don't expect something to happen, it happens, but when you don't expect it, it does.
Right, exactly. And it was a surprise because I was like, man, I've been pushing music for years now and like nothing's happening. And then suddenly, I'm talking with like Barely Alive and I'm doing their Minecraft event and I'm meeting all these artists that I look up to and they're all like, "Oh, Storyboard, I know your name." And I'm like, "What?" Sometimes even I forget my name. What? So yeah, it's kind of surreal that's happening. But I went to school in upstate New York for a bit and came down. Now I'm going to a in-state college.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's definitely like an interesting like turn of events. Like, when you dropped out, did you like have like a plan, or were you just kind of like, fuck it, let's just see what happens?
It was somewhere in between that. So I like came home with no warning, like nobody. I called up my friend, right? I didn't have a car. I called up my friend like, "Hey, I just dropped out of school. I need you to drive up, pick me up, and bring me back home." And he's like, sure. And like, I packed up all of my stuff in like a few days, and I was out of there. I was like, "Oh, I'll get a job and stuff like that." And then I came home and I was like doing nothing. And then I got a job, worked at a private jet charter company for like a year. And then I stopped working there because I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to school. And then again, I didn't go back to school and I got another job. And then, and then I stopped working. And then I was like, all right, I'm actually going to go back to school. And now I'm actually going back to school.
Yeah, sometimes it's definitely hard to force motivation to do stuff. Because
Mhm.
even with me, even if I'm in school, I gotta like force myself to sometimes like get on it.
Oh, for sure. Like right now, especially at home, doing all this work, sitting like in my room, like it takes like every part of me to just not be like, I can do this later. How about I play some video games or I write some music or watch YouTube videos for like 4 hours, you know?
No
It,
lie.
it takes a lot to be sitting down and being like, all right, now I got to solve this math problem or whatever.
Yeah, because you don't have the social pressure,
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess, from other people like watching you or just like seeing what you're doing.
Exactly.
That, and then of course you don't have the teacher right in front of you, so there's no respect in that sense.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
you have all these devices, computers, phone, everything in front of you. There's so many distractions, of course. Like,
Oh, for
I know
sure.
for me, like my family is sort of a distraction with dogs and stuff like that.
Oh, same.
So like,
yeah.
it's genuinely hard to focus. And then sometimes, at least for me, my math class is boring as
Oh,
fuck.
yeah.
It's like 3 hours long, and the dude's monotone. He's like 76, and like all he talks about is air navigation. So it's genuinely boring. So I'm lucky enough where he actually records the lectures, or I think Zoom does it automatically. So it just posts it to Canvas. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, my classes are the same way. I was like actively avoiding classes where I had to get online and watch a lecture. I was like, I need to find the classes that I need to take, and I need to make sure that there's no like set time that I need to be online for. So all of my classes are just posting lectures and assignments, and I just do them before the due date.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough where some of mine are flexible, but for the most part, I do have to sit in a few lectures and participate. But for that math class, he like disables chat, so like you can't even talk.
Oh, that's horrible. That's
It's 3 hours long, disables chat. So I literally just open Zoom, put myself in there, go back to sleep, and then watch the Zoom recording later on 210
Yeah,
speed.
I dropped out of college this year, and I'm like, that's probably one of the worst things about online college is the fact that like it's so easy to not be motivated to stay in the class, because like fucking if it's a boring Zoom meeting, either you'll just put yourself in the call, you can go back to bed since your bed is literally like a few feet away from you.
No, exactly.
And then, or if you like want to do something else, you can just like go into your sound settings, turn down Zoom's volume,
Yep.
and then just
I'll sit here and play Fallout while
like
I'm in class.
I was playing like fucking CS:GO while I was like in math, and I'm like, you know, fuck this. It's like I already know what's going on.
I was actually doing this when I was in school. I was taking like micro macroeconomics, right? And it was like one of those huge 120 student lecture classes, and you sit in like almost like a stadium. And I just, a lot of my classes, it was a tech school, so I bring my computer to all of my classes. And for that class, like I just sit in the back and just play like Portal on my laptop.
Fucking
Like,
love Portal.
Who didn't game in class when like you could bring a laptop and shit? Like, come on. Everybody must have done something other than work.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like part of the college experience is going there and not experiencing your classes.
Dude. Yeah, that's really it. Like, I mean, when campus was accessible, I had art history because that was like a class I had to take, and it's
Oh no.
like it's boring as shit. So I ended up just rebranding art history and called it nap time, and I just slept every class period.
Yeah, my
And
computer science teacher.
My friend who sat next to me took notes for me every single day.
Oh, that's clutch. Yeah.
And it was really funny because I got a better grade on the final than he did.
Yo.
Yeah, like my CS teacher jokes about computer or art history all the time. Like when we joined the class, like and we sat there, he was genuinely talking about art history for like a good 5-10 minutes before class started, and he's like, "No, I'm just kidding, guys. This is computer science."
Oh, that's actually funny. I've always had like like daydreams of like if I was a teacher, how would I just mess with my students all the
Oh
time?
my, dude, same.
Because my favorite teachers were the ones that were just never taking anything too seriously, just having a good time, you know. And it was like fun to be in class. I'd be like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
can't wait. Like history, my least favorite class, and it was like ninth grade. I had my history teacher. He was so funny. He'd make jokes out of everything, and he'd pull up like memes and stuff like relevant memes, not like old man teacher memes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, like he'd pull up like he was like a young guy, so he'd be like, oh, I know what's funny right now, and he'd pull up like memes, and I'd be like, oh, I remember that from that one class with the, I don't know, dat boy, I don't know, I don't remember
Yeah,
what was relevant in ninth grade, but you know, teachers like that were always so cool, and
Honestly,
I'm always like, oh, how would I mess with students
it's
if I was a teacher?
it's the teachers that like that don't give a fuck, but like if you fuck with them, like you don't want to fuck with them.
Like
Exactly,
they genuinely
yeah.
care about their job and they're trying their best to make it like fun.
Right,
mean-
because they know. I mean, they know what school is. School is just like, you know, you're being fed this information, and if it's not being fed to you in an interesting way, you know, you're not going to be able to remember it.
I fucking yeah. There's like only a handful of teachers I remember from like high school, and like one of them in particular was like a substitute. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna name drop him because that's not a way to go about it. But I'm pretty sure Victor knows because he and I went to the same high school. But it was the guy who was he was like on tenure, so they couldn't like, or he was on something, so they couldn't fire him, but because he was like gonna be fired in a year anyway, so he just basically like completely like just gave up, like, and
I had
just,
him for 2 years, and that
Yeah.
was during when he was giving up, bro. That
They-
shit's
they-
fucked up.
he just fucked around, and like I remember my history teacher in 10th grade, like she got him to substitute while we were taking a test, and he was like, all right, just like share your answers or whatever.
Gee.
This dude would sit in the back and play solitaire, and like he would give us the textbook, and he would make us do like, because this was a math teacher, so we would sit there, have no idea what the fuck's going on at all. There's no lecturing, there's nothing. He would just give us the textbook, and he's like, all right, class, this is what you're gonna be doing today. You're gonna be
No,
reading this.
that's not the guy I'm talking about.
Really.
I know which one you're talking about. I'm talking about the one that was like the coach. No. You're also, they were both coaches. You're right. But like fucking, I'm talking about the one that was like funny.
I know who you're. Yeah.
I was talking about that one.
I don't want to name drop my guy, but my guy's fucked up.
Yeah,
bro.
I know
Sitting in
exactly-
the back
I
playing
know
solitaire,
exactly.
dude. For 2 years straight, I had him too.
He
Like,
really gave up on you guys too.
Bro, that's why I suck at math now. Like I'm getting better, but like for 2 years straight, I had the same teacher that just.
Yeah, I can
gave
tutor
me
you
this
in
text.
math.
Everybody out of the
Fuck
pool.
Actually,
dude.
yeah, I'm still in contact with my like senior year math teacher. Like we saw the newest Star Wars movie together. We talk all the time, and he's like not that much older than me. Like he was like a really young teacher, and
That's epic.
and we still talk all the time. He like sends me memes, and I send him memes back. And
That's-
actually, yeah, I had the craziest history teacher in middle school. I don't remember what grade it was, but this guy like traveled around the globe. He's like lived in Japan and India and Europe and like everywhere, like Africa, and he knew all about all these different cultures. And he was the funniest guy, and he was so cool. He'd have like a day where he'd bring in food from like every different like country, and we'd all get to taste like foods you couldn't get in America.
Bruh.
And he's teaching us about the equator, and this guy lived in Japan, so we had like samurai swords. And to teach us about the equator, he just whipped out a globe and cut it in half with a samurai sword. And he was like, this is the equator. It divides the earth in half. And I was like, I'm never going to forget this. Like, I will remember what the equator is for the rest of my life.
That's absolutely insane.
He was the coolest guy.
Yeah, I can't top that. But my CS teacher now is actually like relevant. Like he puts like League of Legends memes and shit in his like slides and stuff.
That's sick.
And he talks about like Among Us and stuff. It's like, it's so weird because the dude is
Actually,
like,
wait, that's not sick. League of Legends sucks.
no, it absolutely does. And like if you play that game, you genuinely hate your life. But he's like, he's actually funny. But He talks about like Among Us, and like the dude's like 10 years older than us. Like he's not that much older, and like
Yeah.
he's so funny.
Yeah.
Like he only teaches because he wants to. Like he works on like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
actual like contract shit for other stuff. So he's
Yeah, like-
genuinely there for fun.
Yeah, that was like the math teacher I still talk to. He's actually like a professor at like an esteemed college, but he's just also teaching high school math. And he's like he's like done all this crazy stuff. He's like won awards. He went to the White House and accepted an award from like Obama and stuff like that. And
That's
like
fucking
he's just
sick.
teaching, math at high school.
Yeah, those teachers are the best because they actually care about what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
then you have the old teachers or people that are just there for the paycheck. That
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
they've just given up.
they're just like, all right, class, this is the same fucking notes that I've taught for the past 15 years, and yeah, so I'm not gonna change my ways. Fuck you.
Wait, I never got to tell you guys my favorite pizza topping.
Oh shit,
Oh.
we didn't even get to the. We didn't even fucking.
We
kind
just
of-
flew past that.
Yeah, we kind of That's just. I mean, it goes that way sometimes. Did you even like cover who you were? I've already
No,
forgotten.
I didn't.
Yeah, who are you?
All right, this is a redo.
All right, maybe we did, and just in case, just in case.
I don't remember it. Let's go for it.
Just all right. Hey guys, I'm Storyboard. I write music. I'm EDM. I mainly write, dubstep. Maybe you've seen me on the Barely Alive Block Party event, or actually, that's about it. That's probably the only thing notable I've done. But I'm doing cool stuff in the future. Trust me.
All right.
I write dubstep and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Now let's ask the question that we're already like, we're already like 20 minutes behind on answering. But what's your favorite kind of pizza, my dude?
Okay, so I have a long, loving history with pizza, and I'm Indian. So here in America, I don't know if it's just like an Indian guy living in America thing, but my whole family just loves not just like my immediate lives in my house family, like extended everyone. Green peppers and onion. That's it on pizza, and then like red pepper flakes. But I also love. So maybe you've heard of this pizza place because it was just ranked like the best pizza place in the United States of America, and it's like a 5-minute drive from my house. Actually, I'm not gonna say the name of it. Oh, well, I might have just doxed myself. Well, there's this pizza place.
A 5-minute drive. That's like a couple miles at least. That's like a huge radius around a pizza place.
All right. Well, just
Do you
nobody
think they're
look for
gonna-
my address.
And there's probably multiple locations too,
Yeah, and it's not like they're gonna open
True,
it.
true.
It's not like
If it's
people
the
are gonna
best
knock on
pizza
every-
place,
People aren't gonna go knocking on every single door, being like, "Hey, are you Storyboard?" And like,
All right, but this pizza place, it is actually my second favorite pizza place.
oh shit.
But whenever I go here, I get fresh garlic, fresh roasted red peppers, broccoli, and grilled chicken, and that is just, oh my god, chef's kiss, like mwah, delicious. It is like thin crust style, and it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like it's just so good. It's like brick oven pizza. And my first favorite place is actually, this is a place that my dad loved growing. He grew up in this area, and this is the place he went to all the time. And it's a pretty good distance away from where I live, but we love it so much. We'll make the drive just for the pizza and then come home for it. Or anytime we're visiting, my grandparents, we're always going to pick up this pizza. It's Greek style pizza, so it's pretty thick, but it's not like, it's not like thick crust pizza. It's like somewhere in between. And it's just the most delicious crust. Like, sometimes I'm just not eating the crust of a pizza, but I will always eat the crust off of this pizza. And the sauce is perfect, and it is just the best pizza I've ever had in my life. I just rambled about pizza, but yeah, that's my opinion on pizza.
Yeah, don't apologize for rambling about pizza. That's literally what the fucking show's namesake is.
Okay, speaking of the show's namesake, I have to. Is this a Spider-Man 2 reference?
I don't know. It might be.
Has
at
that
this
come up? Have
point.
people asked you that?
people have asked me like the origins of it, and I'm like but nobody's like asked me what it's a reference to, and honestly, I don't even think I know that to myself, because I
mean, it is a Spider-Man 2 reference. I don't think
only a Spider-Man reference, so it just happened to be a reference to Spider-Man 2.
I think so, because I think when I came up with it, I was just like, you know what? Sure, let's go with this. And then I'm like, oh, it's Spider-Man, and then also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then, you know.
That's man, I don't even know this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reference. I was a very like casual TMNT fan as a kid, but I'm a pretty hardcore Spider-Man fan.
I don't think I ever watched TMNT as a kid, but I just
I watched
knew that was a thing from it.
There was like cartoon. It was always because it was like it aired around the same time as like Star Wars: The Clone Wars at like 8:00 Friday night on Cartoon Network.
Bro,
and I'd always
talk about that
like,
show.
That show. Okay, I'm gonna make the most controversial Star Wars opinion.
Okay.
The movies are the boring, like, oh my god, all the movies compared to everything else Star Wars has done is like bottom tier Star Wars. All of the coolest Star Wars stuff happens outside of those movies. And like, I'm going to say like 6 out of those 9 mainline movies aren't even good. Like, the prequels are, sure, like everyone loves like the prequels. I don't know why people love the prequels. I don't get it. They are just bad. Like, sure, like the story that they tried to tell, it's there, and I kind of get what they were going for, but it was executed so poorly. I understand that it gave us other stuff, like we wouldn't have gotten the Clone Wars or like some of the cool video games and stuff like that without it. But the movies themselves, like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it sucks because like movies are so condensed, right?
Right.
So like they can't really explain a massive story because of course you have to.
They did that in the Clone Wars though. Everyone's like, oh, how did Anakin fall from the light side to the dark side so quickly? And then you watch the Clone Wars, which is, by the way, dare I say, some of the best Star Wars stories ever told are in that show. If you have not seen the Star Wars: The Clone Wars TV show, oh my god, 7 seasons. You know, they're on Disney Plus, or I don't know, maybe you don't have to watch them on Disney Plus. I don't know, maybe you're finding alternate ways to do it. But oh my god.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I feel like the shows do. I mean, everything like outside of the movies do like a better job when it comes to story wise, because like they have more time to showcase more stuff. Like, I mean,
but it also feels like if you watch, there's such a jarring like difference between watching the characters in the 3 prequels and those same characters in the Clone Wars, because my god, Anakin in those movies, just like, how is this guy Darth Vader? Like, this guy is, like, the most powerful Sith Lord, like, choking and killing. And then you watch the Clone Wars, and I'm like, wow, I love this guy. This guy is Anakin. This is the most powerful Jedi ever. Like, It was
also, like, pretty poorly written for the most part.
Yeah, nobody should let George Lucas just write his own movie. And, like, don't give that guy full creative control. The reason why the original 3 are the best of the 9 movies is because George Lucas didn't have 100% control for everything. Everyone was looking at this like, hey man, this sucks. Let me fix it for you. And they're like, oh, okay, sure. And it came out way better. And then he's like, nobody changes anything. This is the dialogue. This is the story. This is the prequels. And then, the sequels, that mess is a whole nother story.
Yeah, it's what it is. I think the prequels, like, people, like, love them only because of Revenge of the Sith. I don't think people genuinely like the first 2 of the prequels.
No,
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
The CGI in Phantom Menace slaps.
But that's not. But that's not the story, man.
I know. No, but the thing is, of course, in a movie, you're appealing. Well, they're appealing to kids, right?
Yeah.
And they're appealing to people that probably don't really know about Star Wars. They probably watched it.
That's not true. They were PG. Those were the first PG-13 Star Wars movies. My dad didn't even let me see Revenge of the Sith in theaters because I was 5 when it came out, and it was PG-13. Right. My dad was like, "I'll go see it with my friend, and then I'll come back and let you know if it's okay for you to see." And then like 2 years later, my dad's friend had it like on DVD, and I watched it for the first time, and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy!"
Right. I mean, it is definitely, like, I'm not saying, like, for kids, like, super young, but I meant like more like teens.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be huge into all of the storytelling, of
Mhm.
course. And of course, you only have a certain amount of time to really tell that story as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of really great world building and stuff like that, and the cold open to Revenge of the Sith, just that space battle over Coruscant. That is like one of my favorite openings in Star Wars. Like that is so exciting, and that music and just this huge battle over the surface of that planet. Oh, I love it.
The music in all Star Wars is
Okay.
fantastic.
So the Revenge of the Sith soundtrack is probably peak John Williams. That is my favorite Star Wars soundtrack and my favorite like John Williams composition. I love that soundtrack.
I've been trying to get it on vinyl, but it's so fucking expensive. It's like ridiculous.
I'm
like
glad.
100 plus.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not into vinyl because that is an expensive thing to. I say that, but I am a huge fan of Lego, and I drop so much money on Lego.
Lego's
You
ridiculous.
just would not believe how. And the thing is,
It's so expensive.
it's all Lego Star Wars, and that is their most expensive line. Like they have no sets more expensive than the Lego Star Wars ones. And I just I mentioned that I was working at the charter plane, whatever. Every paycheck I got, I dropped it on Lego sets, just Lego Star Wars. By the time I was not working that job anymore, I had like $200, and I was making like decent money there. I was working like 9 to 5, and I was making like good money. And it's like a year after that job, I had $200 because it was all dropped on Legos, like Bionicle and Lego Star Wars.
Even those like extremely tiny sets, like they're like I don't know the exact price, but I remember like when I was younger, it was like $20 or $25 just for like 3 of the minifigures and then like a tiny like I don't know. Go ahead.
I know a lot about Legos, and like the ideal like Lego fans like piece to price ratio is like you're looking for like 10 cents per piece, but like the minifigures and certain exclusive pieces and just the licensing drive the price up so much.
Right.
Like the most recent wave of Lego Star Wars sets, like the second wave of Rise of Skywalker sets, just garbage Lego sets. Like I didn't buy a single one of them, and I buy like every Star Wars set. The price to piece ratio, like it was so inflated for just low quality like sets that nobody should buy. And if you did buy those sets, to any of the listeners, I'm sorry for you that you spent your money on that, because you could have gotten just Lego has really dropped the ball there.
Dude,
I remember like okay.
No, go on.
I was gonna say I remember when I was younger, I had like a Star Destroyer and I fucking loved it. Dude, Lego was the shit when I was younger. Like I would
It still is. People are like, you're 21 years old. What are you still doing buying Lego? And I was like, you should see some of the Lego sets I have. Like I have the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon, the biggest Lego set they've ever produced, almost 8,000 pieces. It is the coolest thing in this whole house. Like it is huge, 2 feet by 3 feet by 8 inches. It is so heavy. It is so detailed, and oh god, I could cream my pants talking about Legos for hours.
Dude, Lego is like, it's such an ingenious concept because it's not only a puzzle, because puzzles are typically like boring as shit. So it's like not only is it a puzzle that's like fun to build, but it's also like it's interchangeable and you can use it with like it to whichever way you please. When you buy a set that just adds more to your arsenal, basically.
You can buy 2 Lego sets. You can buy 2 spaceships and have them fight, but you can't buy 2 puzzles and have the puzzles fight.
That's true. But it's also like, if you wanted to, you could build a bigger spaceship out of both of the spaceships.
Exactly, yeah. You can build whatever you want out of Legos. You can't combine 2 puzzles.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even if I didn't have like the sets and stuff, I would still like buy like the pieces themselves, and then like I remember watching YouTube videos on like how to make like Lego candy machines and shit like that, and it was so much fucking fun because I like learned sort of like engineering through that, and like it like got me into problem solving and doing all this crazy shit. I was doing like vending machines and stuff, and I even bought. Are you familiar with I think it's called the I don't know. It's like a little machine that Lego came out with. It's like NXT or some shit like that.
Mindstorm's NXT. Yeah, I have one of those.
So I used it. Of course, when I was younger, I didn't really understand how it like really worked and stuff. but it sort of like got me into like coding in a way.
Yeah, it was like very basic coding and stuff. It was like super kid friendly. Like I bought one of them and I tried to build like a gun that would shoot itself when it saw like something like that. Not like shoot the robot. Like it would shoot the gun that I attached to it. Yeah.
Bro,
I was just like
fucking
picturing a
Lego
gun that
guns were
holds a gun to its
ridiculous.
head.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't do violence. No, I'm a pacifist. No Lego gun.
Bro, I would get in trouble all the time for making Lego guns because, and also, like, with the rubber bands and stuff, and you'd like, it would be like a genuine like gun. I mean, you wouldn't like, you can't kill people with
Speaking of genuine guns, you guys know what Bionicle is? I mean, not genuine guns. Speaking of Lego genuine guns.
Of course we know what fucking Bionicle is.
Well, I mean, I know what Bionicle is, but
Yeah.
Even if you didn't like have Bionicle growing up, it's like for some reason it's so much of a meme like recently.
So
feel like
I am
put a
a
picture of one.
die-hard Bionicle fan. I know everything there is to know about Bionicle. I have almost every single Bionicle ever released, and on top of that, like doubles and just spare bins of just parts. Like I love Bionicle, but some of the stuff, like they started like it originally started out with like, oh, if you twist the gear on the back, their arms will move, and then like 2008 rolls around and it has like this spring-loaded gun that just shoots plastic balls, and they hurt. So I would know they hurt because I shot my sister with them all the time, and she would cry. And like, oh my god, that was dangerous. Like Lego, like really went for it, and then they reeled back a little bit because in 2009 they did like these rubber balls that you could shoot, but these hard plastic balls that just fired. It had like such a high velocity. That was violent. Like, Bionicle was like really edgy at that time, so they were all like, like guns and like edgy like promo with like Bionicles walking in the rain and All American Rejects.
They were like the PG-13 of Lego.
Bionicle to this day. I mean, the writing was iffy sometimes, but oh my god, that story is like, it is high tier storytelling. There's so much lore. And every character has a name, and every character had some part to play. Like, oh my god! And the one thing that I'll complain about this till the day I die. So the writer, Greg Farshtey, he did a lot of the storytelling for Bionicle. They started doing a lot of like back into the early 2000s. There's these two characters that like in the games and story clearly had like they clearly liked each other in a romantic way, but then the guy Greg Farshtey, he got a divorce, and then he's like, you know what? Love's not canon in Bionicle anymore. They're not allowed to like each other like that, and I'm gonna die salty about that because there's so much potential in these stories.
That's
for
the
like
pettiest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I in my head, I'm just like, nope. These two characters in a relationship, like 100%. Like you can't tell me.
Imagine getting broken up with and just being like, "Hey, anything like that exists that I own, it's not allowed to have a love in it because it's not real."
That's facts.
It's fucking.
I'm sure there's like tons of like
children.
I'm sure there's like a lot of fan stories that probably write shit like that.
There's a lot of like art and stuff like that because I'm like deep in the fan base as well. Actually, only on Facebook. Nobody knows, like, people know Storyboard kind of as like, oh, the Bionicle guy. I try to really push the fact that I want people to know that I love Bionicle. I have like remixes of Bionicle songs. I have like a song that's completely inspired by like an arc of the story. I try to push like Bionicle like music and stuff like that into my like sets and stuff like that, or like that kind of stuff. And
this episode will like officially be called the Bionicle episode.
Yeah, Bionicle. If it ever comes back, please sponsor me. I don't know if that works like that. I don't know. Put an ad in front of my Spotify song.
Yeah,
like Bionicle.
As if anything, Bionicle would see this of all things.
Well, like I was saying, I'm like in the fan base on Facebook. There's a huge Facebook group called Bionicle Mask Posting, and I'm like in there all the time, always trying to like keep up with what's going on, and like I'm trying to get the Bionicle fandom into my music. I'm always like dropping like, oh hey, I might have just remixed this Cryoshell song from 2007 from the Baraki ads. Maybe you guys want to check it out. What happened was I remixed a long time ago, back when I was like not very good at like producing and like isolating vocal, like doing complex production stuff. I remixed this one song from like 2007 Bionicle, and it's from like this band called Cryoshell, and they make banging music. So I check them out if you're into like edgy like 2000s rock. But one of the band members found my remix and like commented on it, and I was like so blown away. The keyboardist from Cryoshell was like, "Hey, this is pretty sick." And I was like, "No way!" And then I ended up doing another remix of that same song, which is way better than that first remix, but not as good as the music I'm writing now. It's like 2 years old now. And I sent it to them, and I've been trying to hit them up for like a collab because they're still writing music. And I was like, it'd be really cool if, Storyboard and Cryoshell did like this Bionicle homage. And then I found out they're trying to like separate themselves from Bionicle because that's all they're known for. And I was like, I just burned that bridge, didn't I?
Oh no.
If Cryoshell, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I still really want to write a song with you. No Bionicle, no Bionicles attached, no strings attached, no Bionicles attached.
You gotta hit him back up.
Yeah, it's like I've grown since then. Please.
My bad, fam. No Bionicle.
That's like, I don't know how to feel about that. Just like, anyway, fucking, I don't know. I'm getting in my head about Bionicle.
I've been finding a lot of music producers getting into Bionicle. Essinger, I found him because he was posting about Bionicles on Instagram. He posted this big Bionicle chip that he got, and it's like, oh my god, music producer and Bionicle? I must become friends with him. That's a work in progress. He doesn't know who I am yet. But Virtual Riot, he also likes Bionicle. He has a Toa in his studio, and I'm like, oh my god, when I meet this guy, I went to one of the Disciple takeovers, and I was like, I got in my head, like, I need to build this guy a Bionicle so I can give it to him when I get to the takeover. And I was just so unhappy with what I built. Like, my standards were so high. I was like, it has to be the best Bionicle ever for Virtual Riot. And I went there, and I was like, I don't have a Bionicle for you. I was going to build something for you. I don't have it. And, okay, so he's like my favorite music producer. I will fanboy about him, like I'm cool when I'm around. Like if I'm around, if I meet him, I'm cool. No, I'm not. I'm very awkward in front of him. But because like we played Block Party together, and I got to speak with him. I got to talk with him again, and we like all I know how to talk about is like. Oh my god. To the listeners, Victor posted a Bionicle meme in the chat. It says you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about, and it's one of the small Taraga Bionicles from like 2001, and then like this kid shirtless with just Bionicle pieces wrapped around his arm and neck. Maybe I should post this on Twitter when this episode rolls around, so you know what I'm talking about, because Dude. I can't describe this in full. Like,
just post it on Twitter with the caption, only followers of the Pizza Time podcast will understand.
Yeah, I'll do that exactly. I post a lot of me. Like, I'm very bad at keeping up with my social media. Like Instagram and Facebook, I am never posting on there. So what I do to make up for it is I'll find a meme I think is funny, and I'll post it to my Instagram story, and I'll pray that this counts as Instagram interaction. And actually Facebook, I just don't do anything. My Facebook page is dead.
Okay, Facebook is like already dead as it is, so
I use my personal Facebook. Like Twitter and my personal Facebook are my two most used social medias. I'm on my personal Facebook all
I don't
the time.
think I've logged into Facebook in like the last 2 years.
I get all of my memes from Facebook. You might think, oh my god, this kid gets his memes from Facebook. big boomer energy.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
But Facebook is the most underrated place to find memes. Well, for me specifically, I'm looking at like Star Wars memes and like I'm looking at these like niche memes, but Facebook meme pages are just an underrated gold mine.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're for specific like fan bases, then I.
But even like general memes, like I'll find some like fire like memes that are just like relevant, like like people I'll see like really funny like 4chan green texts, and I'll see like like memes come from everywhere, and like Facebook memes I find are a lot more like in my I don't know what is it like in my like it's like I laugh at those memes more than I laugh at memes at like Reddit and stuff like that. And it knows what I like. Like when I like certain stuff, it like the algorithm just feeds me more of those memes, and I'm always like, wow, this meme is all like my Facebook memes are always good. At least for me. A lot of people make fun of my sense of humor, but
you know what's really funny that I've noticed is a lot of producers actually use Facebook, and to me, like I like never use Facebook myself, and like most of my friends don't use Facebook, but a lot of people mention it. Like Infinite mentioned using Facebook, and like a bunch of other people too. So I guess if you want to be a producer, you use Facebook.
It's not as popular as it was. I think Discord has completely taken that over that place in like a music producer using Facebook. It's all on Discord now.
Right.
If I'm like I think maybe like I message my friends on Facebook. Like a lot of the friends I meet, I'll end up adding them on Facebook so we can just chat on Messenger and stuff like that. But like, not a lot of producers are like actively like doing stuff on like. I don't see a lot of producers doing like Facebook live streams and stuff like that. And
yeah, definitely not that stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I don't use it, so.
I know exactly because I know a lot of producers that started on like doing Facebook stuff as well. I used to watch like Infinite Facebook streams and stuff like that, and yeah, I think it's definitely all moved towards like to Discord is where you're gonna find most of your producers meeting each other. Like a lot of the friends I have now from the music industry I met through Discord. Actually, not a lot. I think all of them. Almost all of my friends I've met on Discord.
It's a lot easier to connect. You just hop in a chat or you just comment because everybody can see the general chat or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like even if go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyways, you go ahead.
I was like, even if like people aren't commenting, a lot of people read. So like, we have VIPs in our Discord, and I'm sure like a lot of them don't comment, some of them do, but I'm sure that some of them actually like look through and they like laugh at some of your shit like that people post.
Yeah, no, I try to be active. I don't really try to be. I'm active in like very specific Discord servers, but I've hit the max level of Discord servers that you can be in, but I'm active in like 3 of them.
What's the max?
Oh, yeah.
The max is 100.
What the fuck?
That's a very like low number.
Low?
Yeah, I'm in 100 Discord servers. I don't want.
You like expand it, or is there like a premium thing where you can?
No, I think it's just 100.
It's just 100.
I feel
if you get Nitro, if it adds.
Yeah, I have Nitro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think like they should have the ability to have more because maybe there's like, maybe you're just fucking insane and you can actually be active in over 100.
Oh my god,
bro, my head hurts just looking at the 10 or 20 that I'm in now.
You gotta spend all
10 and 20. I'm only in like
active in all of those.
But then it's also like some people just join servers because they like the emotes if they have like Nitro.
That's true. Yeah, I find a lot. So I have my Discord server and I have just a lot of really stupid emotes and like I just posted this Bionicle emote that I have, and like my server is not like super active. It's not dead, but I see a lot of people using the emotes for my server and like other servers. I have some pop-in emotes in my server. If you like dancing Bionicles, join my Discord server.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. I feel like though I feel like I would want to join more Discord servers just to say that like I'm a part of them, I guess.
Mhm.
Like,
But
I
are
guess,
you really a part of them if you're just
well,
joining
I
them
would
just to
still
be
like.
there?
I guess I would like to consider myself like I would be like a quote unquote collector of them, if that makes sense.
You just collect this.
Cause like I'm a part of like 40 different artist discords right now.
Yeah,
I'm,
but
like,
it's
really
not
chatty about-
Pokemon cards, you know.
Fuck off.
that
Speaking of
that
which,
and,
Check
like,
out
dude,
my
Pokemon
shiny
cards, the
Disciple
shit.
Discord server.
Pokemon cards were the shit. All right.
fuck yeah, they are. But I'm just saying, like, servers aren't in that. And
They
also, it's
can
like,
be.
even if you like, no,
If
and
you-
like,
if
you're
you-
probably not interacting constantly with all of them.
If you put your mind to it, it can be the same way.
Speaking of Pokemon cards, you guys were into like I was never into the Pokemon cards, but I was super into the video games. I actually like fell out. I think the new Switch ones. What came out like Sun and Moon, like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
It was so
I didn't
Sword
get
and
those.
Shield,
Sword and
right?
Shield or something.
Sword and Shield.
Sun
yeah.
and Moon were the last ones I got because after a while, I was just like, all right, I've had it. I just can't keep playing the same game every year over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, Pokemon either needs to become something new and fresh, or I'll stop playing them.
Not gonna lie, I like the old formula. I don't have a Switch, so I can't
Yeah.
play the new ones.
I like it. I just want like a little bit of variation. That's why I kind of liked the idea.
If they
of Sword
said
and Shield.
like, hey, we're making a new Pokemon game, it's the same formula, but this time you can go to all the different regions. I'd be like, this is new and this is fresh. I'll take it. This is different from what they've been doing.
Yeah.
I'll
You know
take
what? There's been like, okay, so there's like MMOs online that do that, and you can like play like. It would be fucking amazing if they just made a multiplayer Pokemon game that you can just play against people, and not just like the PvP mode that you can do tournaments and stuff, but like a genuine like walking around interacting with people, and that would literally kill the game. Like that, it would like make. I think if they made that, it'd be like bigger than anything.
No, I think Nintendo's not playing it smart with their Pokemon games right now. Because like they're like going ham on everything else. Like Zelda right now, like Mario, and like Smash, and like they're like popping off with that stuff. But like they're just like, let's not do anything new. Let's leave it as it's always been since 1990 whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, people are always gonna buy Pokemon.
Of course. And the thing is, like, there's like community-made versions of like what I was just talking about, where like they have like all of the maps and stuff, but it's not the same because it's not under the brand, and like they gotta like change up the names,
It's also kind of weird if like it's like kind of weird sometimes that like some of the like the fan-made Pokemon games are like a little bit better than like the actual ones.
Well, I feel like after a while, it stops becoming something like that you're passionate about, and it's more just like we got to release a Pokemon game every year,
Yeah.
So I think like Pokemon fans that are just like really into it will put like it's a labor of love for them when they make their own fan game.
Yeah.
That's like it's the same thing with Sonic the Hedgehog. I love Sonic, and I think the games are just horrible, just terrible video games. But like there's some really great fan games. Like Sonic Mania was like a really good recent game, and that was made by fans. Like it wasn't made by like the Sega like main studio. They got a bunch of people that made fan games together, and they're like, "Hey, want to make like a real Sonic game?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Bro, Sonic Riders on the Xbox, like the original one, that game slaps. And
Was
so
that
does
the skateboard like
Yes.
hoverboard? Yeah, oh my
Yes.
God. Why is Sonic okay? They made Sonic racing games and Sonic skateboard games. Just make him run. The whole point is that he's faster.
I
Like,
know.
run at the speed of sound.
I was about to say, like, the point
Like,
is
why
that he
is he
goes fast. Why
driving in
does
a
he need
car?
a car?
no,
Yeah.
those hoverboard
You can
games
go
are
faster than the
ridiculous.
car. It's like if Sonic were to like, it's like if I were to sit down in like an office chair and would start like using my feet to like wheel myself around. That's basically what it is.
No, because he's putting them on a level playing field. Because if he was able to run, he would just beat everybody, right?
But
Well,
then
if you're trying to win a race, why would you handicap yourself? It's like
It's a race and it's like
then
there's rules to it, right?
why not give everybody else a boost instead of just like fucking, like.
Well, that's why they got
handicapping
cars, right?
Well, then give them cars and give him legs.
for the sake of the video game, I think handicapping Sonic the Hedgehog is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
I'd rather Sonic
Might
run
as-
and everyone else be like, "Oh, we gave them super shoes, so they run as fast as Sonic." You know, I just want to run.
That doesn't make him as special then. If it's a racing game,
might as well just fucking break Sonic.
What makes him
kneecaps.
special in a racing game if everyone's driving a car? It's the same thing. There's nothing special about Sonic in a car if everyone else is in a car too. They're all the same.
Yeah.
So if
That's
they're
true.
all running, what's the difference?
But is it a Sonic game or is it a racing game for like them?
It's called like Sonic Racers Team.
Okay,
Racing.
yeah. And that's yeah.
They made
Alright.
like 4 Sonic like in a car racing games.
Yeah, the one thing I don't understand is like how the fuck can like Mario and Sonic in the Olympics? How is it
Okay,
even?
those games
How is
are
it even
fire.
fair? But how's it even fair? Like if Sonic can go like the speed of sound, why doesn't he just do
But the
that?
thing is, it's not all running stuff. It's not like Sonic's gotta
Yeah.
run. It's like you're throwing the.
But then why?
tennis.
But then in
Yeah.
the running ones, why doesn't he just run fast? He could win every time, but he doesn't.
I think he is like the fastest character. I have the new one, and I think he is like the fastest character you can pick for like the running ones. Like the Sonic characters, like Sonic and Shadow, like they're the fastest characters, so you would pick
Yeah.
them for the running.
Bro, speaking of which, I almost like forgot that there were supposed to be an Olympics this year.
Oh my god!
Oh, the 2020 thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot too. Like in Tokyo, right?
Yeah,
The
that was
logo was sick.
fuck you.
fucking,
I like the logo.
It's
Wow.
It
just
was like perfect. It was a perfect moment to
Dude.
do it.
when have they like ever missed an Olympics?
Yes, it went on hiatus because it used to be like an ancient Greece type thing,
Well,
and
I
then
mean,
it went on hiatus for a while, and then they
well, I mean,
went
like,
back to it.
like,
The last time the
when
Olympics were
before?
canceled was World War II.
no, didn't they do it still?
It
I'm
says
pretty. Didn't they still like host the
They
Olympics?
did one,
in
and then
Germany.
yeah,
the 1940 Summer and Winter Olympics were scheduled to be held in Japan, the first non-Western country to host the games. But Japan forfeited its rights in 1937 when they went to war with China.
Oh, it got canceled in Japan again.
Dang.
That's
Sorry, Japan.
yeah, but we're
unlucky.
gonna have it. We're supposed to have it in LA in 28, I think, and that's gonna be fucked.
Aren't we
here.
having it
Oh my
24?
god.
Isn't
I
it
think it- we're
2024?
I think it's. I don't know what it is, but either
Oh
way,
no,
we're
wait, you're
fucked.
right. I think you're right. I think it's 2028, and then in LA, and then it's like Paris 2024. Or something
Dude, we
like that.
already have enough traffic, bro. Like this is like ridiculous. If there's an action, like we have a stadium. I think they're like planning on building a new one. Like we have the Coliseum like near USC, but I think they're trying to do a brand new one.
Dude,
I
Don't
don't
they?
know.
Don't they do that for the Olympics every time they build an Olympic stadium?
I don't think so. I think it's like they build one if they don't have one already.
Does LA have an Olympic stadium?
We do because
Yeah.
we had one.
Because we
Oh,
we
okay.
hosted it in like the 80s or something.
I'm not a big follower of the Olympics.
Same.
So.
but
Yeah,
same
I
here.
I'm pretty sure we did. I'm pretty sure we
No,
had
I'm
one.
pretty sure.
we did. It's
Yeah.
that's where USC uses for their football
Oh
games and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, okay.
Fucking yeah, I'm
Yeah, 2028. We're gonna have one.
yeah, I don't understand why they like wait or why they like announce the fucking and start advertising shit so early. Like they're
Because
fucking
it's a whole like competition and a drawing to
But-
get.
but they're still
it-
putting ads out for the Olympics in LA 8 years before
They're just
the
letting
actual
people
event.
know. They're like, "Hey, you're gonna get stuck in traffic for 4 hours when you
In
want to
8 years,
drive 2
but
miles."
they're also putting like people in the fucking. They're putting like Billie Eilish in like in the ads for LA like or whatever for like the LA Olympics and like
She's gonna be like 26 when it happens.
exactly like what
They're
the
getting people
fuck.
hyped up for nothing.
She might have like retired, like and
Yeah.
just like be completely like done with the industry by then, or she might have like even like fucking she might
Well, that
just
would make it even more hype if she retires and then she's like, Billie Eilish is coming back for the 2028 Olympics.
what if she just doesn't? But like what,
I mean, is there like a contract? I
Fucking-
feel like there would be
yeah.
a contract. For sure.
I mean
Yeah.
I remember going like I was in like in Paris over summer like in 2017 and they already had shit up for the 2024 Olympics. Like
Okay, so
there
here's
was
the thing.
there was a like one of their biggest buildings in the city had like the entire front half like painted with the logo. I'm like It's like
Because they're like
it's in
celebrating
7
that
years.
they got it. They celebrate. They're probably like I think the drawing is every.
Yeah, I think it is a big deal if you get the Olympics like to be hosted by you. I mean, if they're like, oh, Storyboard, we're gonna host the Olympics at your house. Like, I'd probably say like, hey, in 8 years, the Olympics are in my backyard. Like, I'm
Dude,
excited. Like,
If they told me the Olympics were gonna be at my house, I'd be like, no, there's like fucking go like somewhere else, please. I just want to sit here and play
the
Valorant
national
by
anthem
myself.
of my house is gonna be my music. I get to self promo for like an entire like however long the Olympics are.
That's true. They're gonna have to build an entire stadium in your backyard though.
And think of the crowd I'll get to DJ to.
I could just imagine like hundreds of thousand people walking through your front door.
My dog would not like that.
I mean, like bringing like the Olympics, it must also be like a certain amount of fucking what's it called? Like it brings a fuck ton of tourists, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why LA is gonna get fucked when it comes.
Yeah, doesn't doesn't like every city that has the Olympics get like fucked? Like just because there's like so much shit going on all the time, like.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be parties. There's gonna be just ridiculous. There's gonna be people running in the streets and stuff. Just like it's gonna be crazy. And like we already have like crazy traffic here. And there's like, so when they did the one in Rio, there's like a massive like poverty issue there, right?
Yeah.
And when they did the Olympics there,
yeah, if you look at the pictures, it's ridiculous because it's like you see like slums, and then you see this super nice stadium just surrounded by that. It's ridiculous.
We're talking about Rio, right?
Yeah. Which sucks is like instead of like investing the money into like their people, they just like decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna host the Olympics and use all our money to make this stadium and just like be this.
They just needed to clean all of their rivers from shit.
Yeah, and the thing is when it was happening, instead of like fixing the issue, they just covered it up. So like when you were driving on the highway, they boarded up the highway so you couldn't see into the poverty areas.
That's
we have poverty issues here in LA that definitely need fixing, and like just the fact that I don't know if they're building a new stadium or whatever they're doing, but it's a lot of money to host the Olympics, so I'm assuming that they could probably reallocate some funds, put them towards like helping the homeless. I don't know.
Well, what is like the profit you make if you host the Olympics? Because I'm sure like
I think it's most of the tourism.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, but like
I think it's also like. Go ahead.
Like, if you make a profit from it, you could probably allocate those funds.
I don't think there is a profit. I think there is like a net loss for sure.
I think there is like somewhat of a profit, like as in you're boosting the economy of your country because you're getting so much tourism action, but it's still like a really expensive thing to host.
The Olympics in my backyard are canceled. It's not happening there anymore.
I'm actually interested if there's profit.
Anyway, maybe we should talk a little bit about music before the episode ends.
What's music?
Oh yeah, good question. I forgot. But yeah, so you're a little bit all over the place. How like you're now like you're an artist with Rushdown, and shit like that. How did you come to? How did you fucking come to? I guess how did you get involved with this scene anyway?
So when I actually started out writing music, I wanted to write like melodic dubstep, like big chords, pretty melodies, stuff like that. And as I got, more and more into it, I just stopped writing that kind of music. And the Rushdown releases came at like a weird point in my like music. It was like a transitional period for me. Because now I'm writing a lot more like modern, like heavy, like stompy, like kick clap, like let's party type dubstep. And before that, it was like pretty much like old school bro step stuff. And like I started experimenting with different stuff in my attempt to transition my style. And I ended up writing this super weird like melodic dubstep song, Castles in the Sky. It's on Rushdown. I was like I really didn't know like what I ended up writing. And then I submitted it to Rushdown, and Chime was like super into it. He's like, I would love to release this on my label. And that was like, that's my first big label release I've ever had. And then I followed that up with my collab with Skybreak, also on Rushdown, Whispers in the Forest. And if you look at my page right now, with the exception of like my Future Garage stuff, that's probably the most melodic dubstep stuff you're gonna find. Because right now I'm pushing to be more in line with like Disciple and Never Say Die style music, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's also something I really enjoy. I love like emotional music. I love like the music I listen to. I'm very picky about it. I'll listen to like movie soundtracks and like rock music and like stuff like that. And hopefully you can hear some of those influences in my music. I try to like one of my favorite composers is Hans Zimmer. I just love yeah. So I try to bring kind of that tension and that like emotion into like my intros and outros and bridges of my music, and then I use that drop space to just go crazy and write something super fun and heavy and just like, you know, you can imagine this being played out by people. And I try to find like that balance between like the stuff that I love like listening to and the stuff that I love writing and like hearing in the EDM scene. I'm trying to like, because there's like Varian back in the day used to do like big like strings and horns and like, you know, I don't know if you remember Varian.
Oh yeah, you know, I love Varian.
Fucking sick.
And I like to think of this kind of as like a shoot off from like that, where it's still more electronic, but it's still kind of feeling that same like cinematic vibe that you're getting.
Yeah, like Varian had that like, it's like kind of it's electronic, but it's still kind of like this kind of orchestral like movie score at the same time.
And the thing stopping me from doing that is how much money it would cost to get that, and also like I'm running out of space on my computer, so I don't have room for like big contact libraries. But you know, I actually, you know, before I was into EDM, I was like, I wanted to be in a rock band and I wanted to write music for films and stuff like that. And like music for me was very all over the place. It wasn't until like middle school that I really got into dubstep. I was listening to like trance, like maybe drum and bass, like Pendulum, The Prodigy, stuff like that. And then in 2000, I don't remember the year, but I was in 8th grade and I found this guy called Dubba Johnny. Very old school name. He is the reason I like dubstep, the reason I write dubstep. I found his song in a Minecraft video where someone built like an underwater Minecraft town and they used his song Blue. And I was like, this song is so cool. I love this song. And so I was like, I'm going to start writing the same music that this guy writes. And then my friend showed me Skrillex. And then from there I found Mode Step. And so like those 3 artists are my introduction into dubstep. And since then I've been, like I had a friend that was writing music and he showed me like Logic Pro X. And for years I was using that on my mom's MacBook. And then it wasn't until college that I got my own computer and I got, you know, I feel like there was a big jump in terms of like the quality of music I was writing between me going to college and then dropping out. I think the last thing I wrote before I dropped out of college was my song Primordial, which low key, not one of my proudest songs, at least that first drop. Just, I don't love that. And then I think everything I wrote after that, like, is a cut above. And I didn't even know I was friends with Dubba Johnny on Facebook, but I still post about him all the time. I'm like, oh my god, I love Dubba Johnny. I know it's been like 10 years, but and then he commented and he's like, what are the odds that I, Dubba Johnny, would see this Facebook post? And I freaked out. And I still listen to his music. Like, it is dated. It is old dubstep. Like, the mixing isn't up to today's standards and stuff like that. But I still vibe out to his music all the time. So shout out Dubba Johnny, shout out Skrillex, shout out Modestep. You guys are like my inspiration, like the reason I'm doing this today.
All right. Well, I think on that note, I think that's a good spot to say that we're almost out of time here. So,
Okay.
I guess, is there like any like last words you want to give?
Any last words? You about to kill me or something?
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? That's why we don't have recurring guests, because we just
The only way off of this podcast is death.
Yes.
Well, any last words? So, yeah, I have a big event coming up at the end of October. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but let's just say keep your 24th and 25th of October free. You're gonna wanna be there for this one. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Maybe not Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at the website /Storyboard EDM. My SoundCloud is just soundcloud.com/storyboard. There's a donation button. Maybe donate to me. It's hard time being a music producer during COVID. Spotify. I don't really have much else to say. Buy me if you have any extra Bionicles from your childhood you're looking to get rid of, DM me. I'll take them off your hands.
All right. Okay. Then I guess on that note, like we'll put all of Storyboard stuff down in the description, as well as everything for the podcast, everything for our individual socials will be down there, and our editors. Like fucking follow Storyboard on pretty much everything he's got. You can join our Discord or support us on Patreon. Like we would like to, earn something.
Hell yeah, these guys are awesome. Support them, please.
Yeah, if you pay us on Patreon, we still get like the one goal on the Patreon is if we hit $100 a month, I'll eat a raw onion in whatever the next episode will be. Like during the episode, I don't care. Like we could be interviewing Skrillex for all I care, and I'll have to eat a raw onion during it. So,
can I be the first recurring guest? Because if you eat a raw onion, I'll do it with you, just because.
Okay, you know what? You heard it here first, folks. If we hit it, Storyboard and I will eat raw onions.
And I'll film it too, so you can actually see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. This is super fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for everybody out there listening, we will see you all in the next episode.
See ya.